You don't only want a sexual, physical release, you want your wife to want you. That does something to your soul. How do you get there? What do you do when your wife doesn't want to have sex with you? I'm Dr. Carol. Thanks for joining me. I hear that from a lot of husbands, and it causes a lot of distress. I had this comment: I don't just want sex, I want sex with a woman that I know loves me and has my back. Yeah, that's reasonable. And another husband: pity sex is the worst. Yep, so true. You want that kind of connection with your wife that you signed up for when you said, I do. And I want to give you some insight, kind of behind the scenes from a woman's perspective. Yes, I'm a woman. I don't know what it's like to be a man, but I can give you some insight from a woman's perspective that will help you get that sexual intimacy that you legitimately desire, that God created you with. You don't only want a sexual, physical release. You want your wife to want you. That does something to your soul. How do you get there? I would suggest you start by looking under the surface and asking why. What is the barrier that is preventing that kind of physical intimacy between you and your wife? Simply badgering your wife for sex is not likely to get anywhere. You've probably tried that and realized it doesn't work. Step back and lead your marriage as God has gifted you to do by searching for the reason. And I want to give you 5 questions to ask as you start doing that. Number 1, does your wife feel loved by you? That may not be as simple as you think. The number 1 love need for people, both men and women, the number 1 love need is unconditional love. What's it been like to be married to you? Would you want to come closer to you? If your wife feels like you are only in it to get something from her, well, why would she want to come closer to you? Look in the mirror. What's it been like to be married to you? Number 2, are there physical issues that are impacting her sexually? We are body, mind, and soul. And if a woman's body is not doing well, she very well may not want to go to sex. One of those areas is physical pain, especially with sex. And if pain with intercourse and if pain and intercourse get hooked together in a woman's mind, it can be a challenge to get over that. And that will take some work. Another common physical issue is hormones, perhaps especially in the menopause transition. The good news is that those are fixable things. Your wife may need some medical care, and you can encourage and help in that direction, and that may change a whole lot. An underlying theme in all of this is it may not be that your wife is rejecting you. It may be that one of these other factors is preventing her from connecting, and you can help address that. So, question number 3. Is she too distracted or worried or tired? For both men and women, but in some ways perhaps even more for women, all the other stuff of life impacts her interest in and ability to sexually be aroused and connect and enjoy sex. If that is the case, you having some conversation, seeking to understand her, what's going on in her soul, in her mind, in her life, it may help you see where you can help her deal with some of those issues that are worrying her or distracting her, and be more able to connect with healthy intimacy. Question number 4, are either of you getting sexual satisfaction elsewhere? It's a hard question to ask, but it's a reality. And I especially want to mention porn. For either of you, if you are watching porn, your wife will sense it. And your wife will sense that this is about a physical thing and not her. Now, women also struggle with porn, and if that's the case for her, it's going to impact her ability to engage with you intimately. Porn is an equal opportunity relationship destroyer. And that must be dealt with if healthy intimacy is going to happen between the two of you, whether it's you or her. And then question number 5, are you romancing your wife? You probably are aware of the 5 love languages. How does your wife feel loved? I hear from some husbands, for example, who would say, well, I do everything for her. I take care of all the chores, and, I pay all the bills, and I put gas in her car, and she's not interested in me. Well, are those the things that mean love and care and attention to her? Maybe, but maybe not. It may be that she needs the tender loving care and romance. Sex does not begin in the bedroom. It begins in the kitchen with affection, affectionate touch, not seeking her body, but seeking her. And that brings me to 2 things that you can do in seeking to address the whys. The first is seek your wife's heart before seeking her body. And believe me, she will know the difference. God designed sex in marriage to be a whole person, body, mind, and soul, connecting with another whole person, body, mind, and soul. It's not getting something from your wife. It's 2 people coming together in wholeness. Seek your wife's heart before seeking her body. And the physical parts of sex are much more likely to happen. And then number 2, invite God right into the middle of your marriage bedroom. You very likely intellectually know that Christ needs to be the foundation of your marriage, and he does. But what about the sexual part itself? Do you perhaps somehow imagine that the Holy Spirit leaves the room when you're making love with your wife? Invite him to be right there. I mean, he doesn't leave, but specifically invite him to be there. Invite him to give you insight on what the barriers might be. When God said that this was to be a one flesh connection, you need his input in making that happen. Invite his blessing specifically on this part of your relationship. Now, how do you do all that? Those 2 things, seeking your wife's heart instead of her body and inviting God to be in your marriage, those are just a couple of the things that we talk about in Fully Alive Marriage, a new online resource from Dr. Carol Ministries that helps you understand, address, and overcome the challenges in your marriage, learn to love well, and build a fully alive marriage that lasts. And it lasts for decades. When you said I do, you didn't know everything you needed to know about marriage. How could you? Nobody ever taught you all of that. And some of the templates you learned from were incomplete or perhaps even distorted and wrong. Fully Alive Marriage helps you learn what you need to know so that you can have a fully alive marriage. I can help you do that. There are very practical steps to take that this course outlines. It's 10 video modules. There are also worksheets that you do individually. And then, if God willing, your wife is doing this with you, exercises to do together as a couple. 2 of these modules specifically address intimacy and sex. And all the other facets in this course build into that, things like communication and trust and expectations and dealing with bad behavior and confrontation and the investments you need to build a fully alive marriage that lasts. FullyAliveMarriage.com. You'll find the link under this video, or just go there, FullyAliveMarriage.com. I know that I can help you implement these steps to build a fully alive marriage that lasts. If you're watching this when this video is first up, we are right now going through some live Zoom sessions with me where you, as a group of enrollees, I interact with you live on Zoom, answer your questions. I would love to have you as part of this course. FullyAliveMarriage.com. I'd love to see you there.